Today, today, Indra and Surya are competing with each other. So good to see you all again as we go from day to day in our spiritual lives. We are practicing spiritual life. We've had enough of material life, and now we're going for spiritual life. Manibanda, are you translating into Espanol?
Jai Guru Maharaj, please accept my obeisances. I think I am.
You think you are? Okay.
But I don't see here the channel yet.
Oh, there's a channel. I see a channel.
Guru Maharaj, you have information that Katyayani Mataji is translating into Spanish.
Oh, Katyayani. Okay. And Rivatsky, Spanish, Russian, German, English. Quite many possibilities here. So if you get tired of hearing me in English, you can switch to another language. Okay. Oops. Let's turn that like that. Okay. Good. Let's get started. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitangscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Smara Hari is here. Hare Krishna. He's offering obeisance to the camera. Nice. Okay. And Doug Watson is here. Doug, to answer your question, what more to prepare? Um, all I can say is bring your running shoes.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
I think you may, assuming the weather will allow, but it should in August, I think you'll find some nice running opportunities, knowing this is one of your ways of keeping active.
Very much so, yes.
I knew you're going to bring your running shoes anyway, but I just thought this. Let me introduce Doug to others. You may wonder who is Doug. Doug is Bhakta Doug, and he's in Gainesville, Florida. Actually, no, he's in Alachua. And weren't we going to do a tour of snoot farms?
Yeah. Look, we can pick a date to do that. That would be great. It's a little dark and cold right now, but
Oh, well,
summer is coming.
okay. You keep reminding me, and when you think there's a good time, as part of our show and tell, you can introduce us to the animals, to the four-legged ones, and you also have some two-legged feathered friends, right?
Yeah, too many.
Okay, good. All right, so we chanted some pranati, and now we can go through Narottama Das Thakur's song, which is here somewhere. The song from last week, Aroki Amon Dosha Hobo, etc. When will I renounce everything and go to Vrindavan? When will this be? Yes, and we were wondering whether he had written these songs before actually going to Vrindavan. It sounds like that's the case, and we've been reading the biography, or some would prefer to say hagiography, of Narottama Das Thakur, in which we're finding him with great desire to go to Vrindavan as a young boy. Mm. So it would make sense that he was writing these songs. A lot of these, a lot of the devotional literature of the bhaktas of our tradition and other traditions of India, they were not necessarily written down by the person credited as author. They might have been written later. They might have been just sung by what would often be called poet saints. There's so many poet saints in India. But then also, especially in the case of Surdas, I've mentioned this scholar Jack Hawley. He's done mountains of research on Surdas, and he's published translations of the songs which we have. And he makes it quite clear, quite convincing that we cannot expect that all of these songs were actually composed by Surdas, but rather later authors would compose songs and they would attribute them to Surdas, and they would then in course of time, become part of the canon, so to speak, the collection of songs attributed to. But in this case, I think we can be confident that these songs are by Narottama. But it's just, for me, interesting to think, was he writing these before he was in Vrindavan? Well, in Vrindavan. In which case, when he's expressing hankering for Vrindavan, it becomes interesting. When in great ecstasy will I roll about on the ground where Lord Krishna performed the rasa dance. Yeah, Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings about anticipating rolling about on the bank of the Ganga in Navadvip. Gora Nityananda Bali Nishkapate. When will I see Govardhan Hill, my eyes filled with tears? Yes, many of us went to Govardhan last year. And so you could say we saw Govardhan. Or did we really see Govardhan? Maybe if we would really see Govardhan, our eyes would be filled with tears. When by bathing in Shyamakunda and Radhakunda will I attain the stage of dedicating my entire life and soul to the service of the divine couple? There's an interesting connection between bathing in Shyamakund and Radhakund and attaining this stage, this dasha of becoming fully dedicated to their service. When will I become pure at heart? By bathing in the waters of the Jamuna. And here I always stumble a little bit because, well, I'm not so transcendentally situated to see the waters of the Yamuna as especially pure nowadays, knowing what all goes into that water from coming from Delhi. But that's another subject. Narottama Das hopes that he will be able to reside in Vrindavan in the association of the saintly devotees. And we saw in the previous song from the week before, he's wanting to be with the devotees, specifically referred to as Vaishnavas. He wants to be with them in the kunjas of Vrindavan. And this we found to be interesting. Okay, that was our previous song, and now we go to Mathura Virohcita Darshan Lalasa, song number 1. Virohcita, spelled in a funny way, backwards, I think. Virohcita. Kabe Krishna Dhan Pabo, hiyāra, mājhāre, thobo, āibo, pāñch, parān. Let's see, we get some help from this translation that Avadutta Rai has provided. Okay, translation. Okay, let's do the whole song first, whole verse. Sājāiyā, dibo, hiyā, bosāibo, priyā, nirakhibo, sājāiyā. When will I attain the dark treasure known as Lord Krishna? When, agitated with ecstatic love, will I give my heart to Lord Krishna? When will I consider Lord Krishna more dear to me than my own life's breath? When will I be able to see Lord Krishna's moon-like face? Okay, so the word Dhan means treasure, means wealth. And we have our ever repeated word Kabe, when, the question word when. Krishna Dhan Pabo, when will I obtain Pabo, the wealth, the treasure, which is Krishna. Translated here as the dark treasure. Of course, Krishna can also mean dark. Hiyāra mājhāre thobo. When agitated with ecstatic love, will I give my heart to Lord Krishna. Hiyāra, hiyā, I think it's from the Sanskrit frida, becomes hiyā. So hiyār would be of the heart. Mājhāre thobo. Mājhāre means in the middle, from the Sanskrit madhya. And thobo, it says here, I will keep. When will I keep in the middle of my heart this treasure? Āibo, I will unite. Let's see. When will I consider Lord Krishna more dear to me than my own life's breath? Okay, āibo a-pāñch parān. Okay, parān is prana, and prana means breath, and pāñch means 5. My 5 breaths, 5 types of breath. Yeah, Om Pranay Svaha, Om Panay Svaha, Om Vyanay Svaha, Udanay Svaha, Om Samanay Svaha. There's 5 sorts of breath, and there's an additional, 5 more? There's 10 altogether that have different functions in the body. Sājāiyā, dibo, hiyā. Hiyā, of course, heart. When will I consider Lord Krishna more dear to me than my own breath? When will I be able to see Lord Krishna's moon-like face? Well, yeah, but sājāiyā, decorating. Okay, I think I get it. The idea is, this is a gerund, so having decorated, I will give my heart. When will I give my heart? Having decorated my heart, when will I give it to the Lord? Bosāibo, I will sit. Oh, no, sorry. It's a causative, so when will I cause to sit? Or when will I cause to remain or to reside? When will I cause to reside with my 5 senses, 5 pranas, something? And then nirakhibo, which I would think means, yes, to behold. Say Chandra Boyan. Chandra means moon, and I'm not sure about Boyan. Anyway, the face of Krishna, which is like the moon. And Sanskrit poetry is full of comparisons of faces with moons, or moons and faces. Sometime maybe I can dig out an interesting list of all the different ways that the moon and the face are related poetically in Sanskrit literature. Okay, He shajani kabe mora oibe sudin she prananat nater shange kabe va piribo range sukamoe jamuna pulin. It's kind of strange to me, but there it is again. We had this maybe 3 weeks ago, that the second verse has only 3 lines. And I was thinking from that time, maybe there was a mistake and the second should be the first. But anyway, here it is. When will I regain my master's association? When will I happily return with singing and dancing to the shore of the Jamuna? Oh friend, when will this auspicious day be mine? Okay. So it's addressing a friend. Hey Sajani. Kabe when more hoibe sudin. So a dinna is a day and a sudina is a good day, an auspicious day. When will this day, when will this day be mine? Se prananata shange. Kabeva piribo range. Piribo, I will return. Singing and dancing, range, into Prananata's association, Prananata, the Lord of my life. Sukhamoy, Jamuna Puline. I will be Sukhamoy, I will be full of Sukha. Where will I be? Yamuna Puline, at the bank of the Yamuna. Lalita Vishakaniya Tahare Bhetibogiya Sājāiyā Nana Upohar Shodai Hoya Vidhi Milaibe Gunonidhi Hano Bhago Hoibe Amar. When in the company of Lalita and Vishaka will I meet Lord Krishna? When will I be able to offer various gifts to please him? When will destiny be compassionate to me? When will my destiny become like a virtuous person who is an ocean of good qualities? When will this good fortune be mine? Okay, upahar. Upahar, isn't that a gift? No. So, where are we? Let me shaka betibo. I will meet, and upahar is an offering. Okay, I was close. Gift or offering. Shaddai Vahya Vidhi. Oh, that's interesting. Vidhi is translated as providence. Providence is, in Sanskrit, usually the word daiva is translated as providence, which can possibly also mean something like fate, destiny. So here, Sadai Hoya Vidhi, Mila Yibe, Guna Nidhi. When will destiny be compassionate to me? When will my be like a virtuous person? So guna, the word guna, we usually associate it with the three modes of nature, triguna, but the word can just mean quality, and as quality, it can also mean virtue. So that's why our translator, I think Darsana, has given it as virtuous person. Oh, wait, milaive guna nid, okay, ocean of good qualities. Yeah, sādāiyā, milaive, I will meet good qualities, something like that. Hano bhagya hoibe amar, when will this good fortune be mine? So bhagya, brahmanda brahmite kon bhagyavan jiv, Guru Krishna prasade pai, bhakti lata bija. We were just discussing this yesterday. His Holiness Trivikram Swami was here for lunch, and we did an interview and recorded it. And I asked him about this verse because he quotes it in the very beginning of his book of memories of Srila Prabhupada, his personal memories. So that was nice. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 19, verse 151, a verse which is quite important for us, describing our good fortune, wandering through this universe, Brahmanda, Brahmite means wandering, in the Brahmanda Brahmite kon, somehow Bhagyavan or Bhagyavan is fortune, having fortune, Jiva, the living entity. Guru Krishna prasade paya, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, the combination of the two. And hiyā, we get, what do we get? Bhakti lata bija, the seed of the creeper, lata, of bhakti. We get the seed of the creeper of bhakti. So here, Narottama is asking, Hano bhagya hoibe amar, when will that good fortune be mine? That I will have that compassion will be, here it says, that destiny, vidhi, will be compassionate upon me. And the fourth verse, Daruna vidhir nato, bhangilo premer hato, tila matro na rakilo tar. Kohe Narottama das ki mor jivane ash, chari gelo Brajendra Kumar. Cruel fate has made me poverty-stricken. So vid here, the knot, the play of providence, I guess, is daruna, is cruel, and therefore bangilo, something is broken. The market of love is broken. Hatta premer bangilo. And I do not have even a penny to purchase the goods sold in the marketplace of pure love for Krishna. Tilo matra na rakilotar. Tila is a sesame seed or mustard seed? Yeah, sesame seed. And matra means only, merely. So tila matra na rakilo tar. I've not been able to keep of this hatha of prema, even a sesame seed. And therefore, my fate, vidhi, is fate is cruel. It plays with me, nata. Kohe Narottama das, ki more jivane ashu. Nevertheless, Narottama das says, my life's hope, asha, is to renounce everything and attain the Prince of Braja. Chari Galo Brajendra Kumar. So chari would have to mean giving up. Yes, chari gelo, has abandoned. So that's interesting because his hope is like something for the future, but he says, chari gelo, I've given up. I've renounced. I've done the renunciation. So now I'm anticipating meeting Brajendra Kumar, the Prince of Vraja. Okay. Oops, I forgot to set this up again. Let's see. One second. Does anyone have any comments on this before we start to sing it? While I set up this other screen.
Guru Maharaj, I would like to ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
In the second verse, when he was asking a friend, was that friend a river Yamuna that he was asking? When will that day be mine? And he will regain his master's association. That's the second verse. I didn't get it. Was he addressing Yamuna River as a friend, or was that a friend?
Well, it didn't occur to me that it would refer to Yamuna. I think it's more like just another friend. Whether he had a specific friend in mind, maybe, probably, but he doesn't tell us who the friend is. Hey, Sajani, Kabe more habe Sudi. I think it's more like, that's also why I wonder if it should be the first verse instead of the second. That he's first addressing a friend and then getting their attention, he's singing the rest of the song. But I suppose he could start singing and then later, after one verse, call out to his friend.
I wonder, often the friends are mentioned. I wonder what that friend could be. Like, could be some existing friend, or a friend in his heart, or
Indeed. I can't tell you who his friend is.
We'll just wonder about it.
We can go on wondering. Okay. Devashri Anika, you are here.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, we accept my humble obeisances. Maharaj, if you allow, I just wanted to share something on this a point that the hey sajani is actually a female connotation of a friend.
Oh, it is. I was wondering that. It's feminine. Yeah, not
Yes, and
sajani.
yes, and yeah, it may be a bit daring to say this, but then if I read through the song, it seemed like Narottama Das Thakur is in his in the state of emotion where he is maybe also reflecting on his role in the pastime, because he talks
Right.
about his association with Lalita and Vishakha and
Yeah.
about presenting gifts to Krishna. And when he says, "Hey Sajani," maybe he is one of the girlfriends who are assisting Lalita and Vishakha in doing the service to their lordship.
Yes. Okay. That makes sense. But then it's also interesting why all of this sort of Kabe, when will this all happen? Because if he's kind of already there, maybe there's a bit of achintya element as well. He's already absorbed in that bhava, and at the same time he's in a mood of anticipation. That's interesting. Okay, thank you for that.
Can I also ask something, Guru Maharaj?
Say again?
Can I also ask something, Guru Maharaj?
Oh, yes, please.
Hare Krishna.
Rajamali.
In the translation of the third verse, it says, "When will my destiny be like a virtuous person who is an ocean of good qualities?" And this struck me because last week I was reading about how by good qualities themselves one cannot really get bhakti. And so would that mean these virtuous person and ocean of good qualities are spiritual qualities?
That would make sense, wouldn't it? In other words, yasyatmabhut, yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana, sarvair gunais tatra samasade suraha. The suras, the devotees, exhibit all good qualities. Harava bhaktasi kato mahan guna manoratena sati davatovahi. But those who are not devoted to the Lord, they're simply manorata. They're flowing on the chariot of the mind. So in that sense, I think you could say, yeah, they are spiritual qualities manifesting. The devotee is sometimes, well, in the Bhagavatam and listed also in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are 26 qualities of the devotee. What is it? Kripalu akrita droha satya sarasam nidosha vadanyam ridu suchi akinchan sarvatra Shatkuna Mita Buk Apramata Manada Amani, etc. I haven't thought of that in a while. Gambira Karuna Maitra Kavidaksha Moni. 26 qualities. Yes. So I would say, as you're suggesting, spiritual qualities. But it's kind of strange translation. When will my destiny become like a virtue? When will my destiny be that I will become like a virtuous person? It's convoluted, I guess. Deva Shri Radhika, do you want to suggest for us a simpler translation of sadai hoya vidhi milaibe gunanidhi.
Yes, Maharaj, if I read through it, and then here it is said, when will my destiny become like a well, yeah, if I were to, with my limited knowledge, kind of try to make sense of it, it would say what he's trying to express here, if I just kind of paraphrase it in a way, he's trying to say when by sadaya hoya vidhi milaibe gunanidhi. Because I don't think I would use the word destiny here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard it like that before either. Vidhi usually means something about according to rules or
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't know why it's the word destiny is used, because that confuses me. Because if I were to translate it, I would say when following rules or when being sheltered by rules, I will meet good qualities. That's how I would say that. When being sheltered by rules, shall I meet good qualities? Sadaya means always following rules. Milaibe gunanidhi. Milaibe means to meet or something that helps you meet. That would be milaibe.
Causing to meet.
Yes, causing to meet. Yes, Maharaj, that's beautifully put. So sadaya means continuously, eternal, forever. Hoya vidhi, being subservient to or following vidhi. Vidhi meaning could be rules, regulation, forms, norms. So sadaya hoya vidhi, when doing this, I will meet good qualities, or these would help me meet good qualities.
Okay, that helps. Thank you. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raj, I do not want to waste much time on this, but I just wanted to share one little thing.
Yes.
If you please allow, because you very interestingly mentioned about this fact that, he uses terms like sajani, but at the same time he says, when will I know Krishna, or the treasure known as Krishna? And I just find that this song is very interesting, but maybe I'm very foolish to think of it this way. But then it has a dual mood, because in one way he talks about when will I regain the association, when will I return? So he kind of is indicating that there is a experience, or there is his identity which he has to return to. But at the same time, he's also saying that when will I consider Krishna to be more dear? So it's very interesting how it has both. It's this lamentation to return, but at the same time, he's lamenting that he doesn't have it. So that makes it very, like you said, achintya in a way.
Yes, and the idea of returning, piribo, is interesting, suggesting he's already been there. He's already been in the association of Radha and Krishna and so on. And now, maybe the whole point is he's expressing a feeling of loss of what he's had, and therefore he wants to regain. That could be. Yeah, good. Esther.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I would like to ask a question in regarding of understanding of this kind of songs. And in this particular song, by the end, by my memory, I'm not quoting, it's how I understood. He's mentioning, I don't have a penny of this currency, which is needed to accept, to realize this meeting with Krishna. And is this actually also a part of the teaching of Narottama Das Thakur to those others who maybe like us, who will read later this kind of songs, and somehow that we have to approach it humbly? And we really don't have. I mean, I can say for myself, I really don't have this kind of realization, but still we understand. Okay, we read Krishna book and Srimad Bhagavatam, and now we have to make this connection. It's I don't know how is best way just to hear this kind of song. If you can say something relevant for me, thank you.
Yes, certainly Narottama is Thakura is also inviting us to, you could say he's displaying a certain mood of helplessness, to say I don't have a penny, which is, tila matra. He's translating as I don't even have a penny. He's kind of sharing a particular mood of, yes, extreme humility, so that we understand what kind of feeling is required. So it's teaching at the same time. It's expressive of a certain mood, which is, it's this interesting mix of feeling a kind of sadness and a kind of hopefulness all at the same time. In the end, he says, "Ki mor jivane asha." My hope, asha, I retain this hope. So he's also offering us hope, I think, that even we may feel like that, or if we don't feel like that, we should feel like that, that we don't have any hope, or we don't have any qualification, and therefore, and despite that, hope against hope, you can say, we can at some point attain the desired goal. Yeah, good. Okay, with that, shall we give it a try singing? Why not? I have to switch here. Oh, it's not showing how to switch to music mode. It just normally has something in the top left of the screen, but it's not there. I don't know why. So I hope the audio music mode will be all right. Dharma Gupta, are you there?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah. Usually there is something to click for making music.
Yes, there is original sound for musicians in the top left corner.
No, it's not showing. For me, it's not showing.
I don't know. I have it here. I switch it on, but I think it's for me. It's not for you. So I think
you can do it. That's fine.
Okay, let's try. I mean, it's.
Okay. Kabe Krishna Dana Pabo hiyā mājhāre thobo. Kabe Krishna Dana Pabo hiyāra mājhāre thobo. Judaibo pāñch parān. Judaibo pāñch parān. Sājāiyā dibo hiyā bosāibo, prāna, priyā, sājāiyā, dibo, hiyā, bosāibo, prāna, priyā, nirakhibo, Chandra Bhaya, nirakhibo, Chandra Bhaya, Hey Sajani, Kabe mora hoi besudi, He Sajani, Kabe mora hoi besudi, Se prana a-nāther sange, Kabe ba dibo range, Se prana a-nāther sange, Kabe ba dibo range, Sukamoy Jamuna Pulina, Sukamoy Jamuna Pulina, Lalita Vishakaniya, āibo Betivo Giya, Lalita Shaka Niya, āibo Betivo Giya, sājāiyā nana upaya, sājāiyā nana upaya, Shadaya hiyā vidhi milaibe gunanidhi, Shadaya hiyā vidhi milaibe gunanidhi, Hana bhagya haibe ama, Hana bhagya haibe ama, Daruna vidhiranat bangilo premahatam, Daruna vidhiranatam bangilo premahatam, Tilamatra nari, Tilamatra narakilo ta, Tilamatra narakilo ta, Kahe Narottama Das, Kimo Jivane Asam, Kahe Narottama Das, Kimo Jivane Asam, Chari Gelo Rajendra Kumara, Chari Gelo Rajendra Kumara, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. Go Haribo, Nitai Go Haribo, 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 Go Haribo. Okay. Now, very briefly, because we spent a bit more time on this song, a bit more of Narottam Das Thakur's life story. So, okay, we have a problem. Well, we don't have a problem. Narayani, Narottam's mother, has a problem. And the problem is that Narottam has become mad. And he's become mad. Why? Because he went and walked into the river Padma and he came out practically a different person. So Narottam feels sorry for her. He's thinking, you know, this is very, he could understand. He was not autistic and he was not uncaring. But what could he do? He had now become practically a different person, having been touched by the love of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he could never be the same. And he actually could not stop the feelings of ecstatic devotion. He couldn't stop the tears that were coming up, welling in his eyes. And finally, he says to his mother, Mata, if you really want to help me, then let me go to Vrindavan and dedicate my life to the Supreme Lord's service. That is the only medicine for my disease. Let me go to Vrindavan and become healthy. Well, that's not what Narayani wanted to hear, was it? I'm sure mothers would not want to hear their sons saying, let me leave and never come back. So here it says that she grabbed her son and cried, don't even think of such a thing. You can love God here in your own home. Don't speak about this anymore. Don't even think such a thing. So Narottam doesn't say anything more. Then Krishnananda returns and he says to his father, Pita, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has entered my body and transformed my mind. I can no longer stay here. I must go to Vrindavan. And he's crying and he's shivering and shaking and he's calling out Gauranga. He's falling to the ground unconscious. And Krishnananda is holding him, and he says to Narottama softly, "My son, why do you keep talking about going to Vrindavan? It's not necessary for you to go anywhere to lead a spiritual life. Whatever you do in Vrindavan, you can do here. We eat only prasad in this house. We listen to shastric discourses. The Supreme Lord is here in our home as Shalagram Shila. Mhm. You can serve him here. What's the problem?" And Narottama says, "Yes, Pita, what you say may be true, but there's always a but. I'm not content simply following the family traditions and rituals. I don't want to live a comfortable, pious life of sense enjoyment. That is only the skeleton of our religion in it. Without elevation to Krishna consciousness, through the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, life is simply spoiled in the animal propensities of sense gratification. I want to dedicate my entire life to the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I want to give myself completely to him, mind, body, and words. To me, only that is real life. Everything else is death." Interesting that he says he wants to dedicate himself to the mission of Lord Chaitanya. And he says, I need to go to Vrindavan to do that. Suggesting that Vrindavan is the place at which, if one dedicates oneself to the Lord, others may come and benefit from, may come to Vrindavan and be benefited by one's presence in Vrindavan. I mention that because this is what Indra Prabhu, the late Indra Prabhu, writes in his book. He's written this very strong sort of polemic book. Nicely done, actually. He says some very strong things about not sliding into sort of superficial religiosity. And one point that he makes toward the end of his book is that you could say he's justifying his staying in Vrindavan. So many devotees will come and they will go again. His point is devotees are just, it's very nice. They're out preaching, but what are they preaching if they are not actually touched by the depth of what is Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Prema? And therefore, he's staying in Vrindavan, and he wants to sort of radiate from himself that feeling of devotion, and in this way serve Lord Chaitanya. I'm putting that in very crude way. He's said it in a much more eloquent way, which maybe we should look at sometime. Srila Narottama Das Thakura ki jai. And I should say today, Srila Ramanujacharya ki jai, because Today is Ramanujacharya's appearance day, observance, celebration. I remember in 2017, I was in Chennai. We had a conference there, a Bhagavata Purana international conference. And at the same time was going on the celebration of the appearance of Ramanujacharya, because the followers of Ramanujacharya are especially concentrated in South India, especially in Tamil Nadu, and Chennai is in Tamil Nadu. And they were celebrating the 1000th birthday because tradition has it that Ramanujacharya appeared in the year 1017 and that he lived until 1137. So tradition has it that he lived 120 years. In any case, yeah, something to wonder about and be amazed about. Ramanujacharya, what can we say very briefly about Ramanujacharya, other than being the Acharya, the founder of the Sri Sampradaya? I, many years ago, visited a place which is not in Tamil Nadu, but it's in the south, a place called Melkote. Melkote is a beautiful little town on top of a hill, and it's, as I remember, between Mangalore and Bangalore. And the story is that Ramanujacharya lived there for some years in hiding. He was persecuted. At that time, the king of the whatever the dynasty was in the Tamil country at that time was a Shaivite, and it seems that at that time there was quite some tension between Vaishnavas and Shaivas, and there's a story which I won't remember the details of. Maybe one of you can remember, about how his disciple Kuresh disguises himself as Ramanuja so that Ramanuja can escape. And correct me if I'm wrong, Kuresh, by doing this service for his guru, loses his eyesight. He is blinded. Is that right, dear Lalita?
Yes, Guru.
That's the story, yeah.
It's a story.
And apparently there were other attempts on Ramanuja's life. So sometimes spiritual life can be dangerous. But of course, Ramanuja, we understand, was always protected. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur visited South India once. He visited various places of pilgrimage associated with the different acharyas, Vaishnava acharyas, and he was inspired by them. And so coming back to Mayapur, he had established murtis of each of the four founding acharyas of the 4 sampradayas in the temple at Mayapur. Also, I think it's interesting that our Srila Jiva Goswami, in his Shatsandarbhas, is giving a lot more attention, as I've read indirectly, at least in the Paramatma Sandarbha. He gives a lot more attention to Ramanujacharya than he does to Madhvacharya. And this is interesting because on the one side, we, as followers of Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, are identified as being in the disciplic succession from Madhvacharya. When it comes to philosophy and theology, at least according to Jiva Goswami, we are really closer to the Sri Vaishnavas than to the Madhvas. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm being asked to drink something. All right, since you have requested, I will take a short drink of something called water. Actually, this is special water, special Polish water. My voice must be sounding very scratchy. Okay. Does anyone else want to share something or remind us something about Ramanujacharya?
Yes, very much. I can say something that I remember.
Yeah.
That I remember from the book of the life of Ramanujacharya. That was written by your godbrother. I mean, godbrother. I think his name is Naimisharanya.
Yeah.
And I remember one story, but I don't remember the name of the disciple. And Ramanujacharya had his ashram, and his disciples, Grihastas and Brahmacharis, living all together. Also, and he would see one young man with a young woman walking along the street, and this young man was just looking in the eyes of his wife.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not wife, actually. It wasn't his wife. It was just his girlfriend, actually.
Yes.
And he was just completely oblivious to everything else around him. And Ramanujacharya asked one of his disciples to maybe bring this young man to the temple so he could show him this Ranganath deity that's lying on the a-nāther in the Vishnu temple. And so disciple approached the young man and he asked me, so what would you think if he would show you a pair of eyes using that than eyes of your girlfriend? He said, well, I don't think there are a pair of eyes which are nicer and more beautiful than my own girlfriend, but I will come and see that. So he came in the evening or morning, I don't remember any longer, for darshan. Ranganath's pairs of eyes, and he fell in love with the Lord, and in that way he became a disciple of Sri Ramanujacharya, and he got advice by him to marry his girlfriend, which he did. And then they became a part of that community. They started living there in their own little house. They has the house that they built together. That's the story I remember from that book.
And they lived happily ever after
Well,
as Vaishnava and Vaishnavi.
yes, under the guide of Ramanujacharya as their guru.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because, you know, Ranganath's eyes, somehow he was, okay, the idea, of course, is he was able to see the beauty of Ranganath. Why? Because of the blessing of Ramanujacharya.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah. Because so many are going in to see, have darshan, but they may not see. But they may see, but they may not see. But in this case, Ramanujacharya actually was blessing him to see with a capital S, so to say.
So he was very lucky to get this inner vision.
Yeah.
Of the deity.
Another story, speaking of Ranganath, I'm just now reminded of the story. He is sitting with his disciples next to this water, this little artificial lake, this pukur. And I guess they're discussing Hari Katha, and what is it? Ramanuja throws some prasad into the water, and some fish come and immediately eat that. And then everyone, all the disciples, they watch with astonishment as they see these fish rise up out of the water, up into the sky to disappear. And, you know, I guess they're shaking their heads. What did we just see? And so they turn to their guru and ask him, how is this possible? These fish, they've taken prasad, but they've been immediately liberated. We've taken so much prasad, so much of your prasad, but we're still here. So what gives? What happened? And Ramanujacharya explains, well, they are sinless. They have not made any Vaishnava aparad, and therefore they could immediately be liberated. Oh, Avadhuta Rai is explaining when Kuresh went back to Ramanuja, Ramanuja took Kuresh before the deity, possibly Ranganath, prayed for his disciple, and Kuresh got back his eyesight. So that's another eyesight story. Eyes and eyesight. That's nice. And Kavi Chandra tells us there are 4 such murtis also in Puri at the place of Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's birth, at the Gaudiya Mat there. Oh, okay. I've been to that mat so many years ago, I didn't remember that. Ramanuja asked Ranganath, show him these eyes. So there was some cooperation. Ranganath was also reciprocating with the desire of his Lord. That's nice. Okay. Because this coming week, I think Wednesday, is Ram Navami, I thought we should also have just a bit of Rama Katha. Is that okay? That's okay. And I thought to read from Tulsidasa's Ramcharitmanas. And Tulsidas explains in the beginning of the Ramcharitmanas, which is the popular form of the Ramayana in North India, written in Awadhi language, which is the language of Ayodhya. It's the language of Rama. He explains that he has taken inspiration and guidance from several sources, including various Puranas, including Valmiki Ramayana, and other sources. He says just various other sources. And the Ramcharitmanas, the lake of the activities of Rama, is very much sort of spilling over with expression of bhakti in a way which we don't find in the Valmiki Ramayana, so explicit. Valmiki Ramayana is Sanskrit. The tone is more formal. And the bhakti, we can say, is certainly there, but it's not so explicit as it is in Ramcharitmanas and also in other works, later works like Kamban Ramayana of the Tamil country. Let me read one or two lines of the original. Actually, I don't know if this is, I don't think it's the Awadhi, it's Hindi. So Hindi translation from Awadhi. Well, in any case, so I'm jumping into near the end of Ayodhya Kanda. There's Bala Kanda, then there's Ayodhya Kanda. And after Ayodhya Kanda is coming Aranya Kanda, and then Kishkinda Kanda, Sundara Kanda, and then comes Lanka Kanda, and then finally there is, what is it called here? Uttarakanda, yeah, as in the Valmiki Ramayana. So toward the end of the Ayodhya Kanda, Rama and Sita and Lakshman have left for the forest, as has been ordered by Kaikeyi, by the intrigue of her servant Mathura, forcing Dasharatha to make this his order, although it's by no means his desire. So they're in the forest, and when Bharata returns after, because he was away from Ayodhya when all of these arrangements were being made, when he comes back and finds out that his mother has done this, Kaikeyi, he's quite enraged, and he resolves to go and find Rama and bring him back. And so what we find in this section is a description of that and a very strong emphasis on Bharata's devotion to Rama. Well, I'll just little bit of it here, but first a bit of the language, tab kebat unche chari dai, kaheu bharat san bhuja uttai, nata dekiya hi bitap visala pakari jambu rasala tamala jinha taru baranha madhyabahu soha manju visala deki manu moha nila sagan palava palala abirala chaha sukad sabakala manahu timira arunamoy rami birachi bidhi sankeli sushmasi e taru sarit samipa gosai raghubar parankuti jaha chai tulasi tarubar bibidha suhaye kahun siya kahun lokana lagai bhatta chaya vedika banai siya nichapani saroja suhai. Okay, this is a description by the chief of the Nishadas, who is Guha, to Bharat. So apparently Guha has been traveling with Bharat, and they've come to Chitrakoot, and Nishada begins to describe Chitrakoot to Bharat. And I won't go through it all. He's listing the different names of the different kinds of trees that he finds there. All kinds of very nice, including jambu, which is here translated in parentheses as black plum. Otherwise, I think it's called wood apple. And there's mango and there's tamal and so many different fruits are there. And then it says in front of in front of the hut of the chief of the Raghus, you will find a variety of charming basil shrubs planted here by Sita and there by Lakshman. So they're translating basil. It must be tulasi. And in the shade of the banyan tree, there is a lovely altar raised by Sita with her own lotus hands. And then comes what's called a doha. There's two different types of verses throughout the Ramcharitmanas. And it's mainly in the form that we read, but this doha is always 2 lines only. Jahan beti munigana sahit nitasya ramu sujan sunahi katha itihas shab agama nigama uran. Seated whereon. So, okay, there's a altar that's been made by Sita with her own hands, and on this altar, the all-wise Sita and Rama listen every day in the midst of a crowd of hermits to all kinds of stories and legends from the Agamas, that is, well, agamas is one form of literature, Vedas and Puranas. Okay, so, and also Shatrughna is with them. So what's being described here is the beginning of the meeting, the meeting that's going to happen between, and this is quite different from the Valmiki Ramayana, because in Valmiki Ramayana, Lakshman, when he sees this army coming, he immediately goes into defensive mode. He's getting ready to fight against Bharata. He thinks Bharata is coming to, kill Rama or something. But here none of this seems to be. The two brothers, that is Bharat and Shatrughna, made obeisance as they proceeded. So they're approaching, and as they're approaching, they're making obeisance. Even Sharada, the goddess of speech, felt diffident, felt challenged, I guess, in describing their love for Sri Rama. Okay, so they're offering obeisance and they're offering apparently prayers, and the prayers are poetic. So it's saying that even Saraswati, Sharada, goddess of speech, Vach, is unable to keep up with them, so to say, with their beautiful poetry. They were as delighted to behold Sri Rama's footprints as a pauper, that is a poor person, who had stumbled on a philosopher's stone. Placing the dust on their head and heart, they applied it to their eyes and experienced the same degree of joy as they would on seeing the chief of Raghu himself. So it's all about anticipation. They're anticipating seeing Rama. What do they see? They see his footprints. What do? They offer obeisance. They take that earth, that dust, they smear it on themselves. They're offering prayers, poetic prayers. Perceiving Bharata's condition, which was altogether beyond description. Oh, I like this. Beasts and birds, animals and birds, and even inanimate creatures, such as trees and so on, were overwhelmed with emotion. So just from their emotions, it's affecting the whole of nature around them. And the animals and even the trees are becoming emotional. Overpowered by love, Bharata's friend Guha lost his way. But the gods showed it to him and rained flowers. God realized saints as well as striving souls were filled with love at his very sight and began to praise his natural affection. At the sight of, of Bharata, I believe, must be. If Bharata had not been born on this globe, or if the earth had not witnessed his love, it would not have been possible to turn inanimate into animate and animate into inanimate beings. That's an interesting kind of hyperbolic statement. Let's see. Ottana bhutal bhau bharat ko achar sachar char achar karat ko. Achar sachar char achar karat ko. Yeah. And then comes another doha. Aim amiyo amiya mandaru birahu bharatu hayodhi gambir. Mati pragateo sur sadhu hitta kripasindhu raghubir. For the sake of gods in the form of saints, the all-compassionate hero of Raghu's line extracted this nectar of love by churning the unfathomable depths of Bharata's soul. And it was separation from him which stood for Mount Mandara that served as a churning stick. Ooh, that's a very complicated metaphor. Okay, so there are saints in the world, and they're actually gods, but they're appearing as saints. And the all-compassionate hero of Raghu's line, I believe this refers to Rama, not to Bharata, extracted the nectar of love by churning. Okay, now I'm starting to get it. Okay, so Bharata's soul, Bharata is being compared to the milk which is being churned. Out of this churning is coming the butter. And what is the butter? The nectar. It's the prema. Pem in Avadi, I guess. Pem. Coming from the unfathomable depths of Bharat's soul. And it was separation from him which stood for Mount Mandara. Okay, so Bharata is feeling separation from Rama. And that feeling of separation is here being sort of identified with Mount Mandara, because it was Mandara that was the device, the tool that was used for churning the Amrita of the gods. So that's interesting. I like this. This is a very rich analogy that's being given. So taking the story of the churning of the ocean of milk, applying it to the situation of Bharata's separation from Rama. And this churning is going on. Who is doing the churning? It's actually Rama. He's extracting the nectar of love from Bharata by their separation. And why is all of this happening? It's out of compassion for the gods who are the saints who are the gods, something like that. Isn't that cool? Nobody looks very impressed. I thought that's pretty good. Gaur-mitra, what do you think?
Sorry that I unmute. It's so interesting, Guru Maharaj. especially this part about the plants.
Ah, yes,
That-
I should have expected you would be listening to the part about the plants.
Yeah, because you already says and read that the emotions is spread around the plants and animals and insects are all enemies. So we can say approve that everyone have emotions.
Okay, yes. What do you think about this analogy of
with the Mandara mountain?
Yes, and churning out the love and so on.
I remind few years ago we had some theater, I think for Vyasa Puja, about the turning the ocean with the Mandara mountain. It's this analogy with the love. It's also interesting, especially. I remind myself if we do something similar in our life, especially in the lab, or if we have some relationship with someone, it can also go a lot of things outside. It's not point that is going everything good. It's can be a lot of things inside that we don't know actually.
You mean things can come out, come to the surface that you don't expect?
Yes.
Emotions and whatever.
Yeah. Sometimes we don't know what is actually in the in our subconsciousness or in our emotions. In my case, sometimes I says I feel these emotions or that emotions, but when I'm going more deeply, I don't feel these emotions. For example, if I feel fear or if I feel happiness, if I going more deeply in these emotions like happiness, actually it's not happiness. It's can be some other emotion or can be also mix between emotions.
Yes. Well, okay. Yes, of course. In as long as we are more or less conditioned souls, there's going to be a mixture, isn't there? A mixture of so many things. But it can also be sort of self-defeating to become too analytical of our feelings, our emotions. Sometimes it's better to sort of take the best of what our feeling is and appreciate that, and not be too concerned that there may be something darker lurking about. You know, we can contemplate all the dark emotions that may be there. As the English saying is, who knows, what is it? Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? But it's only lurking there because we're not letting the positive, the pure emotions unfold. So the more we let the pure emotions be expressed, there will be, we can say, less and less place for the darker emotions. Ananda Mai is asking, is there a possibility to watch the interview with His Holiness Trivikram Swami you made? Well, no. For one thing, we didn't record video. We only recorded audio. And we are actually, truth be told, not yet sure whether we want to make the interview available for public. And the reason is that quite often Trivikram Maharaj would mention specific devotees, mainly my mainly different godbrothers of ours, that he had some interactions with in the past. And, you know, some of it wouldn't, whenever he's mentioning someone, it may not be so appropriate that that all of that is public. So, so we're thinking about what to do, because there's also a lot of very, very nice, very sweet, and very, thoughtful and nice things that he shared, inspiring things, especially his memories of Srila Prabhupada, which he shares in his book. But what I was encouraging him to do was to expand on some of those which he describes in his book, which he did. So that was fun. But the answer is it available? No, at least not yet. Dear Lalita, you have a question.
Thank you for your answer.
Yes, very much. I have a question. It's a little bit confusing to me. Like, Tulsidas is writing, as you read this metaphor, but that's from Srimad Bhagavatam, turning the ocean of milk. And knowing that Lord Ramachandra appeared in Dvapara Yuga, which would be like before Lord Krishna appeared on the earth.
Treta
Yuga, yes. So I'm trying to, well, obviously chronologically we can't look at it, I mean, as strictly, but how would that be? Did Vyasadeva spoke Srimad Bhagavatam before Tulsidas wrote Maya?
I'm not sure I see why that would be a problem. Tulsidas, because it was written before, Tulsidas will know that story, right? And so he can use that story for his analogy. It's not Rama's analogy, it's Tulsidas's analogy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it's his poetic expression of what he's seeing is going on.
Mm.
And in general, I think we can say that throughout the Ramcharitamanas, that Tulsidas is kind of very much, there's a strong sense of his presence in his, in the whole book. He's kind of always reminding us that he's kind of like right next to us, and he is telling this story, and he is encouraging us to relish with him.
But on the other hand, the rasa of Lord Ram in Ramayana, and how it's nice that he's using also a Srimad Bhagavatam that's written in different.
Well, this story is not just in the Bhagavatam; it's in the Mahabharata. I think it may very well be in the Ramayana as well, in the unabridged Ramayana. But the story is, I mean, it's everywhere, not just in the Bhagavatam.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good to have that knowledge.
With variations in the different texts. Gauramitra.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. You remind me when you spoke about this story with the fish and Ramanujacharya about the Vaishnava Parad. May I ask one question? If you think that is not appropriate for this Sanga, please tell me. Here in Zagreb, we have Daneshwar Maharaj, he already get sannyas few weeks ago, I think. What is your personal opinion, or maybe can you share more little bit information about the mājhāre? Because we have here a lot of information. Some devotees think that, some devotees think that.
I'm sorry, I missed the name. You said some name.
Dhaneshwara.
Dhaneshwara. Okay.
If you maybe know some more informations.
I say I don't. I know one Dhaneshwara. I think he's my godbrother. I haven't seen him in many years. Maybe that's him. I don't know.
Yeah, probably it was Dhaneshwara Prabhu, but devotee says that he get initiation on Jamashtami, sannyasi initiation, and he now in Zagreb in Bhakti center, in the private Bhakti center, not in the temple. And devotees have different opinions.
As devotees will. Yeah, I can't make any comment really.
Okay.
Now, the time has really gone flying by this time, and I do want to now make a kind of beginning of how to say, an invitation. This is another writing invitation. I don't know if I mentioned last week, I finished the editing of our second canto Bhagavata Smaranam book. And I should say also, for those of you who contributed to that book, many thanks indeed. All very nice writing. And some of you may have written for that already a couple of years ago, or even 3, because production has been very slow for various reasons. Some of you maybe more recently, but thanks to all of you. And also a general, how to put it, I did a bit of very minor editing. First, I asked Bhakta Doug to go through it because he's a native English speaker. And then I also went through it and I found a few things that he had missed. The normal professional procedure would be that I would send each of your piece back to you for your approval, however minor the edit is. That would be the standard way. But I'm not doing that. And why? Because I think you're all very tolerant and tolerant devotees, and you will be tolerant of my edits because maybe I do know, because English is not your first language and so on. It'll be just very minor edits, sometimes just a comma here or 1 or 2 words changing. Okay, that is, so Bhagavata Smarana Part 2 of Canto 2, Reflections, is somewhere in the production line now. And what I want to say now is we could begin reading and then thinking about what we would like to write for third canto, Bhagavata Smarana. As you know, the Bhagavatam has 12 cantos. So some of you may be saying, well, I wrote for the second canto, so don't expect me to do it again for third canto. There's no expectation, but there's invitation. And as you know, this is one of my tricks for getting devotees to read. So you can perhaps be encouraged to read some part of third canto. You can read the whole third canto as you like. Third canto is so much. There's so much in the third canto. In the beginning, we have this discussion between Vidura. Well, first we hear about how Vidura was thrown out of the palace, and then he meets Uddhava, and Uddhava has just been with Krishna, and now Krishna has left, and now he's remembering Lord Krishna in two chapters. So he's kind of summarizing Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan and then out of Vrindavan. And then the discussion shifts to Vidura with Maitreya. And Vidura Maitreya is going to continue all the way through to the end, I believe the end of Canto 4. And within their conversations, their discussions, we get another elaboration of creation of the universal form, and then more about how Lord Brahma is manifesting in his prayers in order to create. So there's a lot about creation in the first part of third canto. There's an analysis of time, and then there's the beginning of a story which is going to extend into the seventh canto, and that is the appearance of the Kumaras. And so with the third canto, in this early part, there's what we may want to call a back story to the appearance of Nrsimha in the seventh canto, but it's also backstory to the appearance of Varahadev, which kind of jumps ahead in effect, because then there's the backstory of the pregnancy of Diti, which brings about the birth of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. And chapter 15 is a description of the kingdom of God. So this is about when the four Kumaras are coming to Vaikuntha, and this is when the trouble is described with Jaya and Vijaya in chapter 16. That's just the first half of third canto, which is a relatively long canto, because then we have in the later part the teachings, the appearance of, and then the teachings of Kapiladev to his mother Devahuti. So there's a lot there. One way I suggest that you could approach this project is to look at the index of the third canto. Just go through the index and see what sort of jumps out at you. Oh, what's this? Let me see. And then you go to the page. You may find a theme that you can use, which could be, carrying over more than one passage within the third canto. You could take one particular theme. I'm thinking of discussing Vidura, and in my contribution. And there's so much reference to Vidura in the third canto, so that I don't have to stick just to one verse or one purport. So that's my little invitation pitch for today. Now you're probably going to ask for what is the deadline for this? I'm not yet at the stage of making a deadline. I'm at the stage of sort of waving the flag and saying, okay, everyone, here's the direction we can start walking for our parikrama of third canto Bhagavatam. And as you begin the process of churning your mind and your heart, you may see many nice things coming out, which you can express in words. Who, me?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
It sounds really good. I was taking notes here.
Okay, good. Mitra Balaram, are you up for that?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, let's do that.
Good. I was reading how your mother was always pestering you. Did you get a raise?
Yeah.
She finally gave up, right?
Well, I think, I know how mothers are. They always like for the children to,
yes, to flourish.
Yeah, better and more. And, yeah, but it's okay. It's getting a little better. Actually, she's having some health issues with the memory, so it's not so complicated. Asking so much.
Okay, good. I will end with, let's see, 4 sentences, short or 5 or 6, from His Holiness Satsvarup Das Goswami's Japa Transformations book. He says, Japa is an art. It's a gift from Krishna. We have to take advantage of it. You have to put your heart into it and not just chant off rounds mechanically. Feel your chanting. Believe in it. Adhere to it. And be sorry you're not doing better. But rise to the occasion. There's always another chance, another bead, another round. Harinama, Harinama, Harinameva Kevalam, Kalo Nastyeva, 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 Gatiranyata. So I will say thank you all very much. And I wish you all a good week. And I think we can have a session again next week. I'm going to be in or near Vienna next Saturday. But I think we can make an arrangement there. So keep well, keep sane, keep safe, chant, be happy. And Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anantakoti Vaishnavinda ki jai. Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna family.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj.
Hare
All glory
Krishna, Guru
to
Maharaj.
Srila Prabhupada.
Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Gurudev.